Welcome to Promo Insiders, an ASI media podcast that covers the topics that matter most to the promotional products industry. I'm senior writer John Corrigan, and today I'm joined by Brian Duran, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at MediaTree. The New Jersey-based supplier had a tremendous year during the pandemic, targeting an untapped market in the promotional product space. Brian, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I am very excited to talk about this because whenever we hear good news about companies in 2020, it's exciting. It's uplifting.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully that can carry over to this year. How was 2020 for MediaTree?
So, it was chaotic, right? I mean, that's kind of how it was for everybody. Right in the beginning there, we all had that same thought where we were like, yeah, I mean, 2 weeks, we're back, right? And then 2 weeks up, and I was just like looking around my apartment, like, we're still here. But what we did really is like everyone uses the word pivot, and I hesitate to say pivot because we've been around for so long, and we've had honestly a lot of the same services. But what we really did was we strapped our boots up and we decided to educate as best we can. And we really started targeting, not necessarily targeting, but just opening up to a lot more people and kind of introducing our product and all the logistical challenges that it solves. What we noticed was April and May were actually, outside of the holidays, our biggest months in sales.
Oh, wow.
We had a huge spike because everyone was looking for something to solve their logistical issues. They were trying to find things online. There was a lot of companies who were trying to calm down their employees and their customer base, being like, I'm here with you, like, here's this gift of appreciation. And our products, the digital rewards, really kind of fit into all of that.
So what exactly, how would you describe a digital reward?
So a digital reward, I guess it's just a product on the internet. It's not like your typical mugs or t-shirts or anything like that. It's things like digital movie rentals and digital magazines and digital gift cards. It's products that, like, when they get received, you're able to use it online, whether you're streaming a movie or if it's a gift card, you're able to then redeem it online and use it for an online retailer.
Okay. So you guys create, I guess, take me through the process of how I would go about using one of these things.
Yeah, so I mean, from a recipient standpoint, say you did receive one of our gift cards. One of our popular gift cards is called the Total Choice e-gift card. So if you were to receive one, you would receive it via email. We do plastic cards, but right now email is kind of the typical delivery method.
Yeah.
And you'd receive email from, say, it's your employer or maybe a company that you buy stuff from, and their logo would be in it. There's a message in there. There's going to be a code in that email and a link. You're going to copy that code, click on the link, visit the site, and you're going to choose from 180 different options of gift cards.
Wow.
It's a really simple process. I mean, and you don't have to spend it all in one place, which is awesome. So say someone gave you $50, you can do $25 at Starbucks and the rest at Target, however you'd like to spend it.
Yeah.
And once you select your gift card, you're able to use it instantly. So there's no waiting. There's some instant gratification behind that.
So which I think is fascinating. I think it's a great product, and I feel like there's not a lot of people in the promo space offering this. Is that true?
There's not a lot. There's probably a handful that are doing things similar. We've just been doing this for 15 plus years. And I always say, like, we were built by distributors entirely. Like, distributors and their clients and their crazy requests are like the only reason we exist. Like, half the stuff you're like, why did you build that? We're like, I don't know, somebody wanted it. I don't know. And that's most of our tools. So, a lot of the things that we do have, part of it was the genius that we have in creating all this stuff and implementing it, but a lot of it was an idea from someone in the promotional product industry. So it's, you look around and you're like, yeah, you guys are the only ones doing it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we were the only ones really shaped by it.
Gotcha.
We were shaped by the market itself.
Now, you had told me previously that at the end of 2019, you guys kind of felt that you had plateaued a little bit, I guess, in terms of sales or even as a company. Why was that? What was going through you guys' minds?
So at that time, we had this, like, we were like the super cool kids in like 2012.
Okay.
Like, everyone is like really hip to digital rewards and stuff like that. But after a while, the luster kind of goes away and people just go back to the normal things. And we even now, like, we haven't really changed much. We've had like similar offerings, and we've just really, got better pricing, and we have better tools now. But our products are typically the same. What we offer is typically the same. So like things kind of plateaued a little bit where we weren't sure how much we fit into the industry that much anymore. Like we'd go to trade shows and people would be like, "Why are you guys here?" And we're like, "I don't know." Like, I thought you wanted us here.
Right.
And yeah, that all kind of changed getting into 2020. And it was like we were like the belle at the ball. Like everyone was just like, "Wait, like you guys took off your glasses? You're attractive now." Like those classic 80s movies. But it was like we were like, yeah, we were here the whole time. We just have a solution that makes a lot of sense for the times that we're in.
Is there anything that you guys are working on for this year? Anything new? Any type of new strategy? Because obviously we don't really know if we're ever going to go back to somewhat normal. But I don't know, as people, maybe with this vaccine going out and people try and go back to the office and some kind of semblance of our old days, is there anything you guys are going to try to add to kind of keep what you guys have now?
Yeah, I guess like two strategies. One, there's some offerings that people asked for last year, like international capabilities and a few other things that we have on the roadmap and we're going to release this year.
Okay.
Just like what I was saying before, like we were just built on requests. So we got a lot of requests last year and we're building towards that. But I think one of like our big strategies and plans for this year, it's funny, I read an article, I think like about 2 or 3 days ago. It was by ASI. It was the end of last month, and it was something like "Partnerships in Peril" was like the headline for it.
Yes.
And my actual
Shout
goal
out
of all
to
of
my colleague Sarah who wrote that, by the way.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And it was funny reading it for me because I was just like, my whole plan last month of like how I was kind of putting things together was the complete opposite of that. Like my goal is to establish more partnerships, reestablish the ones that already exist. One of my goals this year is to really become one of the most, or maybe the most caring supplier. That's truly where I'm trying to find myself. Whether that's helping distributors from a different standpoint, being more flexible in what we offer, but also environmentally as well. We have a lot of donation and social good programs that we're putting together. Things like, codes that let you clean up the environment, like clean up a portion of the ocean. We already had Tree Cycler for a while where you can plant trees in different locations of the world, but we're trying to expand on that. Like even like kind of fun things where you can, feed kittens for a whole week. It's like donations like that we have established right now, and I'm really trying to get that out into the world and get people more educated on it.
Why is that important to you?
I think from a personal standpoint, when I first started working at MediaTree, it was about 9 years ago, and I worked in the production department as a production assistant. And one of the first things that drew me to like MediaTree products is when it was around the time that Tree Cycler came out. And at the time, I think it was like somewhere like, I want to say it was like 5 million trees planted. And like at the time of my age, I was pretty young and I didn't really care about the environment. But like that number like really stuck out to me, and I really started doing research on the environment. And I think it's a really important thing to kind of focus on and really give back. A lot of people look at the promotional product industry and they're like, oh, it's so wasteful and this and that. But there's a lot of people there doing good that are really like, shout out to Roger Burnett. Like he's really an inspiration when it comes to things like that. I feel like his mind's always thinking of the next thing when it comes to trying to give back. And not saying I want to approach it the exact same way, but I want to create products that do have that element, and things that like the promotional product can show for and be like, hey, like, yes, we might have used X amount of plastic, but we offset it with this.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea, and I think that it's becoming an even bigger trend now. I think that a lot of buyers look for that. They look for eco-friendly products. They look for companies that are giving back to the community, and I think that my other colleague, Chris Rubo, he wrote an article about this recently about the importance of sustainability in the promo industry. And just like you're saying, I think this is going to be the way of the future, really. And hopefully it does change that perception, which is definitely a misperception about how useful our industry is. I mean, don't you feel that
I
way?
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I totally agree. Yeah. I feel like we get a bad rap sometimes.
absolutely. I guess in wrapping up here, 2021. Obviously, you've talked about different things you're working on. What do you think about the industry as a whole? How do you think we're going to do this year? Do you think we're going to rebound from 2020, or do you think it's more the same for a little while?
I have a positive outlook. I mean, personally, we increased our sales a ratio of like 150% from 2019 to 2020. Even right now, we've tripled our sales up to February from last year.
Wow.
Um, and, that's kind of just us, but I'm looking at like the optimism behind all of the promotional product industry. Everyone I've been talking to, like things like, vaccines and lockdowns kind of getting, lifted and things like that. I think there's a positive outlook in the nation. And I think
Yes.
there's going to be some form of a little bit of normalization as we get back into things. And I think it's going to, inspire some spending when it comes to when it comes to the industry as a whole. So I do have a positive outlook. I do believe that we're just on the up from here. We hit a weird moment where things were chaotic and
Yes.
everyone pivoted and moved around. But I think with certain partnerships that if people really kind of believe in each other, we can kind of get through this together.
Listen, I share your optimism, and I hope that other people do as well, and I hope that it all works out. And I appreciate you taking the time for joining me, man. And congratulations to MediaTree on having one of its most successful years ever, right?
Yeah, it was a record-breaking year for us. So it was
Fantastic.
really exciting coming out of that year. And thank you for
Well, I wish
having
you
me,
the best
Brian.
of luck in 2021.
Thank you. You have a
Absolutely.
great one.
Thank you, Brian.